Hey, so it turns out Activision Blizzard won't settle for anything but the absolute best, and that includes accumulating lawsuits. So recently, if you haven't heard the news, Activision Blizzard is now being sued a second time, but this is by the investors because they felt that they either didn't disclose or tried to hide the fact that they were being investigated by the DFEH, which led to a loss in revenue. The investors basically claim that because this investigation was going on, it led to a decrease in the value of their product. And now that this whole lawsuit is out, it's decreased the value of their stock even more. So they feel like that information needed to be disclosed to the investors so that they could make accurate trading decisions. Now, I got a Kotaku article up that's going to go over it a little bit better than that. And we'll go over the article and we'll discuss it a little bit. But hey, Blizzard, every voice matters, including your investors. So let's go over it. All right, so Activision Blizzard faces second lawsuit over first lawsuit. This one is a class action lawsuit, so it's not by the state. It's just by, all the people who have invested money into their company. So it says a class action lawsuit filed today, and today being the 3rd. So this happened the same day that J. Allen Brack stepped down, and the same day that the earnings call came out, which makes sense. They saw the earnings. The investors were like, I think this could have been better if you weren't sexually harassing people, and if you had told us about this, we would have maybe invested differently. So a class action lawsuit filed today in the U.S. District Court of Central California on behalf of investors alleges that Activision Blizzard's intentional failure to disclose its ongoing problems with sexual harassment and discrimination artificially inflated the company's stock value. In layman's terms, if investors had known the extent of Activision Blizzard's issue, they wouldn't have invested in the stock. It's basically what I said, but essentially think of it this way. If you're going to put money into a company, it's because you believe that the company is going to do well enough to give you a return on that money. And so in order to make a competent decision, you need to know everything that's going on within that company so that you can make that decision whether or not you think that they're going to go up in price or not. This lawsuit is saying you didn't tell us that there was an investigation, or you tried to hide it. You didn't tell us about how bad the sexual harassment and discrimination was, and that in turn led to worse products and this lawsuit. Therefore, we believe you did not give us the correct information in order to invest. It continues. Activision Blizzard stock prices have been slowly declining since June 21st, when news broke that the company was being sued by California Department of Fair Employment and Housing over a workplace culture that has fostered years of abuse and discrimination targeted at female employees. With the Q2 earnings call happening later today, investors are understandably concerned over the state of the companies they've invested in, which makes today the perfect day for Los Angeles, the Rosen law firm, to file class action suit on behalf of said investors. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything about this law firm, but I'm going to guess that if you're an investor and of Activision Blizzard, which is a fairly large company, that this law firm is probably a pretty known one and is probably pretty good at this specific thing, going after companies who have lied or tried to mislead investors. So this is pretty concerning, I think, overall for Activision Blizzard, because not only do you now have to deal with the first lawsuit about the discrimination from the state of California, now you have to worry about a second lawsuit from your investors. And I am not an expert in economics by any means, but I can imagine that this means 2 lawsuits together are going to tank the stock even worse than it's already fallen. And so I don't know how long this is going to last, but maybe over the next year plus, Activision Blizzard is going to be hard pressed, it looks like, from both ends. The suit, which covers anyone who has traded Activision Blizzard securities between August 4th, 2016 and July 27th, 2021, seeks damages based on defendants' violations of federal securities laws by issuing materially false and misleading statements during the class action period. The suit not only names the corporate entity Activision Blizzard as a defendant, but also CEO Bobby Kotick, CFO Dennis Durkin, and former CFO Spencer Newman, three executives who the suit states were instrumental in the spreading of false information. Okay, that is a large amount of time, 5 years. So if you have traded Activision Blizzard stock within 5 years, you are covered in this lawsuit. That is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Just imagine how much, like, their market cap was like 6 billion or something. So that fluctuation over 5 years could be a lot of different investors. So I am not sure exactly how these kinds of lawsuits generally play out, but I'm going to guess that this is going to be some kind of like material gain for all investors. So that could be bad for Blizzard, especially if they have to pay out a lot of money to this other lawsuit, and then they have to pay out a lot of money to this lawsuit. It could be looking bad for the next couple of years for Activision Blizzard and their games. Okay, so not only does the lawsuit name Activision Blizzard the company, it also names these three executives, one of them being former, and then, you know, the CEO, Bobby Kotick, we all know, we all love him. He gets the fat paychecks because he does the good leads, I guess, on the company. So he gets paid that money because he is essentially, you know, leading the company to good profits. But this lawsuit is claiming that he himself was, you know, complicit, if not instrumental. I think actually literally instrumental in this kind of obfuscating the degree to which this discrimination ran through the company. And then we have the two CFOs that worked at the company during that 5-year period because they're the financial officers. So essentially they must have known the problems because they're probably talking to the investors about this kind of stuff. And then they probably also are very knowledgeable about the payments that go on to employees. So they probably knew about the discrepancies in pays between men and women. The contested information comes in the form Activision Blizzard's annual SOX certification. SOX refers to the Sarbanes-Oxley. The SOX refers to this act, whatever, legislation passed to protect the public from erroneous and fraudulent activities by publicly traded companies. Every year, companies must release a SOX certification signed by executives disclosing any potential legal issues, investigations, audits, or other procedures that could affect the value of the business. So that is, I mean, they're just saying like they lied on this. This is specifically what the issue is, this act here, which makes it illegal for them to lie or mislead people on that. And that is what the lawsuit claims, is that this is where they misled people, or this is the law that they're going to use in order to levy this lawsuit against the company. Here's Activision's SOX certification from 2016, as signed off on by Bobby Kotick and then CFO Dennis Durkin. So this probably is also the main reason that they're going after the CFOs and Bobby Kotick, because they're the ones that have to sign off on this SOX certification. So we are party to routine claims, suits, investigations, audits, and other proceedings arising from the ordinary course of business, including with respect to intellectual property rights, contractual claims, labor and employment matters, regulatory matters, tax matters, unclaimed property matters, compliance matters, and collection matters, and the opinion of management after consultation with legal counsel. Such routine claims and lawsuits are not significant, and we do not expect them to have material adverse effect on our business, financial condition, results of operation, or liquidity. So this is the statement they're claiming is false, or at least this is the one from 2016. And it's false because the rampant level of sexual misconduct and discrimination is not part of the ordinary course of business, I believe, is the claim here. So they're saying your level of discrimination is not ordinary by any means. So you lied about this to the investors so you could get more money, is essentially what they're saying. The class action lawsuit claims that Activision Blizzard and its executives were aware of the company's issues of rampant sexual discrimination and workplace harassment during the periods these SOX certifications were issued and knowingly left out that information. The final sentence in the statement in particular reads false, but has remained unchanged since 2016. Appearing most recently in Activision Blizzard's 2020 fiscal year end report, as the events of the past couple weeks have proven, ongoing claims and investigations have indeed had material adverse effect on Activision Blizzard's business. So they're saying that the investigation that California was doing on Activision Blizzard had led to negative effects on the company. And by saying that this was not happening, they're lying to investors. Essentially the same thing I said above. So Blizzard said, hey, everything's cool here. Nothing bad is happening. And then California was investigating this issue. California comes out with a lawsuit, says everything is not fine here. This is an issue. We need to sue the company over it. And then investors are like, holy fuck, you said everything was fine. I only gave the money because everything was supposed to be fine. You lied to me. You lied. And this act right here says that you cannot lie. So they sued him. So now they're going to get essentially their hope is that they'll get money for this lawsuit. It sounds like the Rosen law firm has a pretty solid case on its hands, and in case the firm rings a bell, it's the same one behind the class action investor lawsuit filed against CD Projekt Red following disastrous release of Cyberpunk 2077. So I don't know about this first part. I don't know anything about the law, really. So the fact that this is saying that they're a pretty solid case in their hands, maybe. I have no idea. But this law firm, the Rosen law firm, is the same law firm that has the class action investor lawsuit against CD Projekt Red, which, if you remember, CD Projekt Red said, hey, the game is ready for release, and then they released it, and it fucking wasn't ready for a release. Like, it was like a bricking consoles. Like, everybody on a last gen console had to refund it because it was just fucking completely unplayable. Like not even like you could make it through. Like, you couldn't even play the game. Like, it was just fucked. Even on PC, people are having major problems wanting the game refunded. So they're saying this game is not ready for. They're saying this game is not ready for release. Fuck you, CD Projekt Red. You lied. We want our money back since we invested in you. So this is the same law firm that's done this. So it does seem that this law firm has some big cases that they're representing. So hopefully, if there was wrongdoing here, which, I mean, in my uneducated opinion, seems pretty obvious that they lied here, but there might be some like legal wording, like legalese that they're using here that makes it so that they can skirt their way out of this. I don't know. Seems like they lied. I would have been tricked by this wording if I was an investor. I wasn't, so lucky me, I guess. But this law firm has some cases that are big on it already, so now it's going to have another one. And Activision Blizzard is now, burning from both ends. They're fighting a war on two fronts, which isn't looking good for the company, at least in the immediate future. Maybe in a couple years. Like, they're a very wealthy company. They have very, very valuable IP. So I don't think this is by any means the end of the company. Like, that would be ridiculous to say. But at least for the next couple years, it seems like they're going to have some trouble producing games and keeping customers and investors. So that's where we're at now. I was hoping Blizzard would have some kind of response to this. I haven't seen any. If you know of one, please put it in the comments. That would help me out. That would help me out. I would be able to at least read it and see how I feel about the response, but it would probably be as fucking dog water as their other response was, so maybe it's best that they don't say fucking anything. But let me know in the comments. Do you think that this is the end of Blizzard? Do you think that this is going to be the lowest point in their existence? Or do you think this doesn't matter at all and they're still going to produce some good games and they're still going to keep a very massive, massive number of their player base? I know that at least for WoW, a lot of people have left. I don't know about the other games. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. That's pretty much it. Peace.